Well, welcome to you, gentlemen. And this is a Saturday night, which means I'm having a few beers. Now, I had some beers last night, which was Friday night, but you know, a strange thing happened. I just couldn't drink too many. I fell asleep. I didn't get to my quota. I must be getting old. But the good news is I've got some beers in front of me tonight, and I've got extra beers if I need 'em. The ones I didn't drink last night. We'll just see how it goes. Now, I've got a few news items tonight, not too many, because there's not a lot happening. Well, there is, but it's not being reported, of course. Something else is, something more important. And I think you guys know what that is in the UK. But as you know, the pubs in the UK are almost dying. They've been hit by so many different things, and I don't believe they will survive. Now, many years ago, children weren't allowed in pubs, because pubs were an adult place for adult people, and people doing adult things. But the Femons kept on pushing to get their children into the pubs, because let's face it, if a Femon has a child or children, she's far more important, and she can get more attention. At least that's how the Femons look at it. So now a lot of the pubs have children in them with screaming and yelling, and it's turned into a kind of a creche. And there is a connection with me saying that as I introduce the first news item. And here's a picture of a person that has parked their car. Now, was this a male or a Femon? Don't yell out now, guys, come on. Alright, yes, of course, it was a Femon. Actually, that's pretty good for a Femon, at least it's straight. Anyway, she got a ticket, because the parking warden didn't realize she was a privileged Femon. But she says she's not paying it because she had to get her child out, and that's why she parked like that. You see the way Femons use their children as pawns and levers, and men see it all the time in divorces or relationships or even marriage. And when they come out with laws like parking laws, they don't say, oh, it's only made for males. And Femons with children don't need to follow the law on parking. And the trouble is with these entitled Femons is they believe they can do anything with impunity, and they are supposed to be oppressed, of course. I'm surprised the government hasn't actually made pregnant bays. You know, when a Femon is pregnant, she's allowed to park in a disabled bay, but they'd make a pregnant bay. Not sure what it would look like, because the Femons of today believe they're the only ones that got pregnant. Way back in time, no other Femon got pregnant. Now, we all know that Femons are very special and privileged human beings, but when they're pregnant, they're even triple obnoxious. I mean, privileged, aren't they? I think I might try parking like that myself, actually. And then when I get a ticket, I just say, well, I had a very hard erection that was sticking out and I had to get out the car in a difficult way. Yes, I know it's ridiculous, but so is the Femon's excuses, isn't it? I didn't read the whole story. Maybe she didn't have to pay the ticket after all, who knows? Anyway, moving right along, and of course I'll put the links to the stories down below. Now, this is a bit of a sad story because when anybody dies, it's a bit sad, regardless of what sex they are. But apparently a man hit a Femon, and he ran. Hit and run it's called, you know. Now, if you notice in the paper, it's always men that hit and run, because Femons never do it. Yes, they do. It's just that the media doesn't like to write stories that put Femons in a bad light, so they don't write it. And once again, I never read the whole story, but it was the headline that got me. It says, Crash Horror, Man, see they go together, Crash Horror, Man, charged after beautiful woman, 28, hit and killed by car before vehicle found abandoned nearby. So I guess if the Femon was ugly, they wouldn't even run the story. She has to be beautiful, of course. And there is a picture of the Femon, and I don't consider her beautiful at all. In fact, most women aren't beautiful. You hit them with a fire hose for 5 minutes, and only a couple of them, if you're very lucky, would look decent after that. But it's the media pushing Femons all the time, and it gets really, really boring quickly. But it's pushing the narrative, isn't it? She's just another victim of a man. Of course, it could have been an accident. Anybody think of that? And here's another story, and I wonder if you guys can actually read between the lines on this one. The headline reads, as you see, woman falls in love with her sugar daddy, despite 36 years age gap. First of all, we all know us real men, Femons don't love at all. Obviously, this man has some money, and funny enough, he does. Well, there's a surprise. I think the man in question is in the background there. So apparently this man she just can't stop falling in love with. has bought her a £340,000 house and a £40,000 car. So what does that really make her, really, in reality? Well, we all know what that is, don't we, guys? But we can't say it. But is this man stupid or something? There are very high-class women of the night that you can pay for, that are much classier than the one I see in front of me. That would cost nowhere near that. But of course it's probably love anyway, so there's no sex involved, I don't expect. Yeah, right. Now, of course, I'm never going to have money like that myself, but if I did, I wouldn't just throw it away like that. Would you guys? I mean, knowing full well that Femon is with you because of money only. She probably doesn't even like him. But this shows you the morality of a Femon, doesn't it? Because you can see that other men would be looking at that thinking, oh, she's quite morally dead. But other Femons are looking at that and thinking, well done, girl, well done. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of these sort of news stories. And if I do start drinking the beers from last night, you may not understand me. Assuming you understand me at the moment. Anyway, with that girl with the sugar daddy, I would have respected her a lot more if she just turned round to you and said, I went with him for the money. But the first reactions of most Femons is to lie. And I bet you if I did a survey of 10 men, not one of them would have believed her. So once again, Femons are only fooling themselves. Oop, time to get the beers out of the fridge, or the freezer I've got them in at the moment. I don't want no beer popsicles, do I? Take it easy.